Doesn't look like it's gonna rain too hard, I guess. I don't know what I'm basing that off of, but...
It's a place many of you have recommended to us. A popular destination for climbers with its numerous majestic sandstone cliffs, breathtaking scenery, and vibrant community. And we were finally here. Red River Gorge.
We got our things ready as quickly as possible and headed out.
Robby and I hiked in from the Martins Fork Trailhead. We were taking the southern path, hoping to rendezvous with Bryan at a campsite tonight. The next day, we'd hike out along the rough trail, camping along the way. You can purchase the required 3-day overnight permit for just $5 here, and at certain stores in nearby cities. We picked ours up in Cincinnati.
It was a humid, summery day, and the trail entered a lush, wooded area crisscrossed with streams.
We're finally at Red River Gorge, which lots of people have recommended to us. Beautiful so far, kind of hot and steamy though. Although right now when I'm walking, the breeze is kind of going against me, so it's really nice. I'm really excited to see what's up ahead on the trail.
Temperature is about 800 degrees, but everything looks like indoor from Star Wars, and I'm so glad that so many people recommended this place to us because already I'm loving it.
As we continued along the moist and muddy trails, I found a few fascinating fungal fruiting bodies.
Nice thing about wet weather is you get lots of mushrooms. Pretty sure this is two-color bolete. There's lots of lookalikes, including one called Boletus sensibilis. But the characteristic of these is when you break it apart, the inner yellow part stains blue. And if it stains blue really quickly, then that likely means it's the poisonous one. But this one's sort of staining blue slowly, so chances are this is edible, but again, I'm not gonna take my chances right now, so.
Although likely safe to eat, these mushrooms had already been bored through by maggots.
We continued down the trail beneath the sunny canopy, and Andrew spotted a few plants as well.
Lots of familiar plants here. This is called sweet cicely. It's just a pretty wildflower. We've got spicebush, of course, one of my favorites. And we have Christmas tree fern and holly, so if for whatever reason you wanted to make a wreath with this and the hemlocks, it'd be a good place to do it. But it is the middle of June, so.
Sweet cicely is edible and smells of anise, but it can be confused with poisonous lookalikes.
So this plant is called ground nut, and it has edible nuts both underground and also growing above ground in little pods. And one of the names for this is also called hog peanut. And this is a name that the original settlers gave it to sort of shame Native Americans who were eating this. They were basically saying that what they were eating was worse than food that a hog would eat. But I'm sure it's actually pretty delicious.
Those who value the wilderness, on the other hand, know better than to be dismissive of indigenous knowledge and indigenous people.
So how did you get all of your plant knowledge anyway?
Well, I was just sitting alone at home and bored and kind of depressed about graduate school. So I just decided to start doing something. Because I've always loved nature, and I figured maybe I should actually start studying it. So I went on the ODNR website, and they have a list of trees. And I just started learning those, just on my own.
Dude, isn't it weird that as a kid, if you had told other people that you liked studying plants, people would call you a nerd and a geek and they'd make fun of you?
Oh, yeah.
As an adult, not only do you not care, but it becomes a virtue.
Yeah.
And people look up to you for it. They're like, oh, that's great that you know all that.
Yeah, if you told me a year ago that studying plants was fun, I'd be like, the hell is wrong with you?
It's experiences with peer pressure that often make us want to hide our passions. But expressing your passion for something, no matter what it is, makes the world a richer place. After all, interested people are interesting.
The beautiful forest environment was rich with life. Blooming rhododendrons added some flair to the backdrop of lichen-covered deciduous trees and mossy stones.
But designated as a geological area, it's the huge bluffs and sandstone formations that are characteristic of Red River Gorge. The path began a steep uphill climb out of the forest. We continued on, and the thinning forest revealed a huge rock face in the distance looming over us.
The trail bent around the rock face and opened up into a wonderful sun-soaked spot to sit, rest, and reflect.
Oh, I'm fine.
Okay. You just mentioned earlier how this place looks like a Miyazaki movie.
Yeah.
All of these beautiful landscapes, you can tell that in lots of games and movies, environments in those games and movies are inspired by real life environments just like this. Like this structure right here looks just like something out of Shadow of the Colossus.
We've mentioned it in the past, but like the very first place we ever went was Hocking Hills. And I always thought it was kind of a shame that you couldn't backpack through it. But like this is exactly what it would be like if you could. Yeah, this is beautiful.
It's always surreal to see landscapes you thought possible only in art and fantasy come to life before your eyes.
This is what Red River Gorge was all about. Being able to walk right up to the cliffs and touch them, rather than viewing them from a distance. Now we knew the journey had really begun.
This is incredible.
This is pretty incredible.
Look, there's some blueberries here. Actually, pretty much any berry with this crown on the end, like the little 5-star shaped thing, is gonna be edible in this region. But yeah, this is some sort of blueberry. Last time we had blueberries was in Dolly Sods, and I don't think we even said anything on camera about it.
Those are great.
You always expect it to be like less sweet or something, but it's just packed full of flavor.
Yeah, it has such a actual blueberry flavor. A lot of the ones you get from the grocery store are like just really tart.
Yeah.
And it feels like all their flavor has died. It's kind of like eating pulp. But these, it's like immediately, it's like a burst of blueberry-isness. Oh, that's not a word, is it?
After enjoying the fresh fruit, we hiked into a young ridgetop forest. And Andrew spotted another oddity.
What'd you find?
What is this? What kind of plant is this? Jared, I'm coming after you.
We also saw a woven nest, likely belonging to a red-eyed vireo, and some oak galls, much more pleasant than a plastic cup. And further down the trail was another one of my favorite trees.
Wait. Oh man, this is awesome. This is a sorrel tree.
Oh, how much? You can just eat it? You got barbs right there.
You'll be all right. My friend Nathan, I met him in the Smokies and he showed this to me while we were hiking out.
Wow, that is a sour apple.
That's awesome. This, I was not expecting in the middle of the trail, a parking lot and a picnic area. Whoa, look at these mushrooms. Oh, yes. These are, oh man, what are these? Oh no, these are the poisonous kind. Oh, we would have had a feast. I think these are the jack-o'-lantern mushrooms. They're a poisonous lookalike to chanterelles. And chanterelles are a really, really delicious mushroom, but the way you tell is like, these have actual gills that are separate from the mushroom, whereas the chanterelle, instead of gills, they just have ridges. Also, if you cut the mushroom in half, it's orange inside and not white. So you gotta be really careful when you're looking for chanterelles. But man, look at this. It's a shame they're not the chanterelles.
We stopped a moment to figure out how far we were from where we were planning on hiking.
We're supposed to be around here, and we are right about there.
Now down the long, dusty road.
There's so many plants I can't identify because we don't have the time. Got some tulip poplar down there, good for fires. Sassafras, good for cleaning your teeth making tea. Magnolia, really big leaves and pretty flowers.
The gravel road faded away as we made our way back into the woods.
Pincham Trail, right?
Yeah.
Weathering and erosion have carved fascinating structures, cliffs, and overhangs out of the Corbin sandstone throughout the area.
Occasionally, there are sheer cliffs, and hikers should exhibit caution near them.
We were wondering where people camp, I guess. That's one place. Not sure how you get down, though.
Do you hear that?
It's getting to that point of the day where you're like a little bit worried things won't go so well. It's like getting dark, starting to hear thunder.
Less than halfway towards your final destination.
Bryan, when he comes in, it might already be dark and rainy, but if we can get to where we need to be, he won't have much of a hike at all. So.
This is going to be interesting.
All right, we're definitely hearing thunder from that direction, and it definitely looks like rain right now. It's only like 7 o'clock.
Trail's this way, so.
Okay, let's go. We can do this.
Yep.
The earlier sunshine was nowhere to be seen.
Did you hear that thunder?
Thought it was a fireworks display. No, I didn't actually think that, but.
We soon started feeling water droplets falling from above.
Doesn't look like it's gonna rain too hard, I guess. I don't know what I'm basing that off of, but
I just hope it cools down, because it is really hot, and having to put on a jacket when it's this hot and humid, it's not super fun. It's beginning.
definitely starting to rain.
Oh man.
Looks like we're in some trouble.
Yeah, considering, like, if we need to set up an emergency camp, where are we gonna do it?
This is awesome.
We sat a bit wondering what we should do, and ultimately decided to keep moving.
The lightning was about 5 miles away, but the thunder sounded like it was right above our heads.
We're not even to the second to last junction yet. Okay, we just saw a campsite back there. It's 7:42. So I'm okay with stopping or to keep going. Because I mean, we're already wet. Let's keep going a little bit. Okay.
As tempting as it was to stop, I didn't want to risk getting caught in a flash flood overnight.
It might not seem like much, but weather like this can be pretty scary.
But if you don't do the things that scare you, and you allow those to close off areas of your life gets smaller and smaller. So like, yeah, we could have been like, oh, it's gonna rain, let's not do it. But then it prevents you from seeing all of the great things that you get to see when you come out in the rain. I don't know, this is really strange, but I'm like enjoying this, I don't know why. I am. Oh, we made it.
We again wondered if we should stop and hunker down for the night.
Well, there's a campground a mile and a half away.
Tell you what, why don't you put the tarp over me and just leave me? What a relief.
Not that way.
This is like Smokies all over again. Like,
That might be a campsite right there.
really? Oh, dude, you're right. Yeah, because there's only 3 ways. There should be 4.
It is.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What do you want to do?
I say we set up camp.
In the meantime, we called Bryan to let him know the situation.
Hey, we are probably going to camp at the second to last junction to your parking lot. So I would say either sleep in your car if it's really dark and rainy. If it's clear weather and you feel like hiking, go for it. But
there's a good chance I'll probably just stay at my car since right now my ETA is 10:45. Also, I heard that there's a storm going to be coming through, so
yeah, I heard at night.
yeah, so make sure you check for the Widowmakers.
Okay.
Okay, see ya.
See ya.
Bryan still had a ways to go, and we had stopped a little over a mile short of our planned mating area. It was getting too dark, rainy, and rocky to keep hiking. We checked the campsite for dangerous trees and saw this little guy staying nearby to keep us company.
Well, I was thinking between these two trees here, but we got this dead one
That
here.
one definitely, yeah, that's...
It looks like it'll fall away from us, but I don't want to risk it. I don't know, maybe we should just check down there.
How about these two?
Yeah, these two look good. Well, is this one good too?
This looks good, actually. The ground looks good right here.
There was a lull in the rain that we took advantage of to set up our shelter and sort out our things.
Thankfully, none of our gear was too wet.
That'd be good. Oh yeah.
We also wanted to hang our food, since bears aren't exactly unheard of in the area.
Got it? Yeah. Okay.
We couldn't get the stake down the first time we threw it over a branch, so we tried another time.
It's often hard to find an ideal branch to hang things on, especially when it's dark.
Just give it a toss and then like a push. Yep.
Hopefully no bears or hungry Shaquille O'Neals were near.
Strings covered in wax.
Something like that.
The shelter was a bit cramped and a bit damp, but it was really nice to change into dry clothes and settle down beneath the cover of the tarp.
You know, we're gonna get eaten alive by mosquitoes tonight.
Yeah.
In the morning, our faces are gonna be covered with red dots.
Hopefully a nice breeze will come through when the storm comes.
Yeah.
But it might just be that the mosquitoes seek shelter.
Like, look, under there, and fresh meat. I wonder what Brian's doing right now.
Yeah.
Make a U-turn, then turn right onto Kentucky 715 South.
It started raining.
Yep. Raining a lot more. It'll be a good night, though.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be a great night. We just saw a light in the distance. We yelled hello, but they didn't respond, and now their light is gone. I don't think Slender Man has a headlamp. You know, if there's one thing I'm really glad about right now, it's that I'm not alone.
All right, so I just arrived at the parking lot at the trailhead. It's dark and it's raining, so I will sleep in my car tonight. But the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to turn on my radio and see if they're close enough to get, to talk to each other. So let's give that a shot. Can you guys hear me?
Yo, 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 yo.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Can you hear me? Yo, can you hear me?
I can barely hear.
But I can't hear you. Awesome. We're at our campsite.
Are you in the car at the parking lot and safe?
Yeah, I'm in the car right now.
Come stay here for the night, and I'll meet you guys in the morning.
All right, sounds great. We'll meet at that intersection.
I have no idea. I heard the afternoon tomorrow was supposed to be nice, though.
Okay, I'm going to turn off my radio now.
Now and get ready for sleep.
Copy that.
All right, over and out.
All right, see ya. That's awesome.
Well, all that's left to do is set up some way to sleep in this car. Fortunately, I actually have more space. I guess I'll just go ahead and put some chairs down and then maybe sleep in the trunk. We'll see how that works.
This is called Roughing It. My sleeping bag, 50% of it is sitting outside of the tarp and is soaking wet right now. I'm just gonna wring it out and then drink the water that drips out.
Are you guys ready to move out or have you moved out yet?
No, we're still lying here.
That's fine, I haven't moved either.
It was tempting to stay asleep under the tarp, but we had to get moving. We got packed up, cleaned our teeth with a sprig of sassafras, and we got our food bags down. After breaking our camp, it was time to set off.
Hopefully, there wouldn't be any rain today, but it was hard to tell. The sky was still pretty overcast and everything was wet, with the exception being our mouths. We'd gone through our water supply last night and we're pretty thirsty.
I'm actually about to head out, meet up with Robby and Andrew further down the trail. There's no time to lose, and just gonna move out.
All of the forest was vibrantly colorful after last night's thunderstorm. But as tranquil as it seemed, the trail we were on always had some rough obstacles, like steep, slick rocks. As we hiked, we saw some fragrant wintergreen growing from the leaf litter.
And sure enough, it started raining again. We didn't bother with gear this time. Besides, the rain wasn't at all the biggest thing we had to worry about.
Okay, there is a snake on the path. We have no idea what type of snake it is. Andrew just stepped right over it, and I think it's done being freaked out and knows we're not gonna hurt it and it's going away.
Turns out, it was a venomous copperhead snake. When frightened, they freeze, and their camouflage patterning means hikers frequently step near them. If they feel threatened, they'll sometimes give a warning bite. Thankfully, these bites hardly ever kill people, but that doesn't mean they aren't serious. If you are bitten in the wilderness, the best thing you can do is sit down, calm yourself, and contact help if possible. If it's not, then try to hike out, but don't strain yourself too much. And don't attempt to remove the venom yourself. You'll likely just do more damage.
There we go. I'm so excited.
Oh man. Many hours since he was drinking any water. What's he drank? He's drinking forward?
It was great to rehydrate after hours of being thirsty.
While Robby and Andrew rested, I kept hiking and quickly made my way to the meeting spot. Finally, I had made it. Now, to play the waiting game.
Feeling rejuvenated, we continued on beneath bright green magnolia and maple leaves. The trail winded downhill towards a large stream. It was muddy and steep, but after a short time we were back on level ground.
The creek was absolutely beautiful. Huge moss-covered boulders cast shadows into the clear water, which reflected the green canopy while damselflies darted about through the air.
We soon reached the intersection, but Bryan was nowhere to be seen.
Okay, so we're still 0.7 miles from you for some reason.
You guys came up from Coomer Ridge, right?
Yes.
I'm pretty sure we're at the right junction because that way we'll just keep going away from Grace.
Well, there's got to be another sign because he wouldn't be mistaken about that.
I hope you went the right way.
Because he came from Chimney Top Road. Okay, so do you see the trail that says Sheltowee Trace that goes north? And then it says Rough Trail and Sheltowee Trace go west also? That intersection that you're at right now?
Hold on 1 second.
You have a map, right? See, he's right there. And we're right here. He just kept going and he missed this one. I'm sure that's where he's at though. Looks like Bryan missed the first intersection. He's at the second one. It's this way. We're gonna go meet up with him now.
Let's do it. Yep, let's go.
Found Bryan's boot print here, and I'm trying to figure out if it's the same. I see like some of these indentations of this part because we wear the same boots, so I'm actually pretty sure it is. Huh.
Does Bryan have lunch with him?
Lunch, yeah.
Oh man, I'm ready to eat some lunch.
Oh yeah.
Despite the little mishap, the hike to the next junction was short and pleasant.
We continued on, spotting more and more signs of Bryan.
Yo! Hey! Yo! How are you, my brother?
I'm good. I was so intent on filming me crossing that river, I didn't notice that was a junction. Because I was like, oh man, I'm gonna get two angles here. No, I was like, I kept looking at my map for like 10 minutes. I was like, please make sure I didn't go the wrong way.
Oh god, if you went east instead of west.
Yeah, well, I mean, I knew I was going the right way because the way I went, the sign said Gray's Arch this way, so it had to be right. So.
Yeah.
Oh man, you guys are gonna be excited to see what I got for you.
Oh my goodness. You do not know how excited I am.
What a relief.
All right, let's have some lunch.
Oh! Ooh, yeah. Okay, what is this? What do we got here? Oh my goodness.
Unfortunately meant to be eaten last night, but it'll still be good eats.
What is that? This is steak, potatoes,
Oh man.
zucchini,
My
mushrooms.
God.
Yeah.
That
And
smells like
onions.
so good.
We've said it a million times before, but hunger is the best spice.
This is amazing. When you cook things like this, you don't even need much of anything else because the flavors all come together. How was you guys last night?
We're soaked. We're not even close to where we need to be yet. So eventually we set up our tarp, and somehow half of my sleeping bag got out of the tarp. So like basically the tarp would like drip down right into my sleeping bag.
Oh, so you didn't bring a tent? Oh man. I obviously didn't have as bad of a night as you, but I had all the lights on in the car so I could film it. I lay back and I was about to turn off the light and I looked up at the light and there were just like all these bugs buzzing around it. So I spent like the next 10 minutes, turned off all the lights in the cars, turned on the headlights and like walked outside my car with my phone light on. And it was like shooing them out of the car.
That's smart. Thank you for the food.
No problem.
This is what I needed.
It was good to be back with the others. Together, we marched on across streams and through muddy forests. Pretty soon, the trail wound uphill, back towards the hilltops.
We took a break hiking the steep climb to enjoy more sorrel leaves.
Take that.
Am I supposed to eat it?
I want one.
It's a sorrel tree.
Wow, it's sour.
It's good, right?
Yeah, it's really sour.
Maybe the bigger ones are less sour.
Before long, we are back atop the ridges, and we are treated to some nice views. We came across a small campsite and decided to rest and dry off.
Wow, this would be really awesome to camp at.
This would be very awesome.
Well, we should check where we are on the map. I think.
This would have made an amazing campsite, but we hadn't made much progress, so we were only taking a short break.
While we relaxed, I found some more blueberries along with some blackberries.
Two of these.
Nothing like a fruit burrito.
Bottoms up. The Adventure Archives.
Crunchy on the outside and bursting with gooey flavor on the inside.
That is really good.
Actually pretty good.
You got blueberry on your tent.
We sat around, continually watching for breaks in the clouds.
Looks like the Scottish Highlands right there, actually. Yeah, it does.
Sun came out long enough to actually dry all of our stuff. It's a huge relief. That means I'm going to be sleeping in a dry sleeping bag tonight.
Finally, the sun was back out and the wind was blowing. It felt great to be dry.
Up ahead, the trees thinned out and the trail opened up.
Holy crap.
What is it?
It's just a big, bald, rocky mountaintop. Holy crap. This is cool. This is awesome.
If we can find a camping spot near here, we gotta do it.
Rain clouds look like rain to you guys? Once again, thick clouds are rolling in. and we decided to get a move on before the weather turned sour.
We were hoping to find another open ridgetop campsite somewhere further down the trail, but the path was headed back downhill.
I'm pretty sure we're going down there. Okay. It seems like it just drops it through this valley after here. But I don't know, this little bend here might be out on a ridge still.
Well, if this is downhill, it'd probably be easy to get to the creek.
Yeah.
And I assume there'd be a campsite down there.
Yeah.
There's usually one near water sources. That's good.
We're gonna check see if this is a campsite. It's nice and out in the open. And it seems like everything that could have fallen on us has already fallen. Dumping up here. Looks like it. Right? You can camp anywhere, technically.
Oh, it's got a fire ring. This is it, baby.
Bryan, this is it. This is it.
This is Michael Jackson level. This is it. Look at that sky.
We lucked out. This was a beautiful place to stay.
All right, so I got a new camping hammock. I'm super excited. Means I might get a really good night's sleep, be really comfortable. Ooh, this is nice.
Sleeping out here in a hammock was bound to be an experience of unparalleled relaxation.
After that, I put my tarp up, just in case any more rain would decide to fall later.
Then, it was time to gather tinder and kindling for the evening's campfire.
There was plenty of dry wood and dry grass, which would be perfect for catching a spark. I put down a fire lay to keep the tinder off the moist ground, and then it was time to get it going. With enough preparation, you'll have plenty of time to secure your knife and ferro rod before tending to the fire. If you're worried your bundle of kindling has smothered the tinder, just lift it up to feed it oxygen. Care for it like it's a living thing. When the flames have risen above your first pile of kindling, you can stack another on top.
That was literally the best fire starting I've ever seen you do.
Afterwards, you can add large pieces of wood and stabilize the fire.
That was the most impressive fire I've ever seen you start in my life.
Yeah, so the problem that we had with fire starting before, I think, is like, one, preparation, where we didn't collect nearly enough small sticks or tinder. And two, whenever we started it, we would gingerly put little twigs on it. And all you have to do is just dump the whole thing on there. And if you're worried about the fire suffocating, you just lift the bundle up and like the tinder up, and it just, the flame just bursts up immediately.
At first I thought you were blowing on it, and then I looked at your face and you were just looking at it.
Yeah, I was just over there for like 30 seconds gathering some pine wood and firewood, and I came back and there was just a roaring fire. I'm like, okay.
And that grass you sparked on the first try.
Yeah, I'm glad it worked out. But a lot of that is also just preparation, where you just like work at it until it becomes as fluffy as possible.
We've never had a fire like this. Like every fire we have is like a
struggle. Yeah, but we've got a great campsite. We've got an amazing view.
Oh, yeah.
It's really secluded with just a very narrow path to get through here. And
no more rain either.
Yeah, there's a bunch of downed pines over there, so we've got like all the firewood we need.
Yeah.
Now, it was time to use this fire to cook dinner.
On today's menu was some glutinous rice, boiled atop a fire. I'd use this to make a traditional Chinese food later in the evening. I also wanted to brew some tea for later. There were plenty of plants within reach that would make a flavorful brew.
But if you're in an area that prohibits fires, this might come in handy.
So I recently bought a solo stove because when we were at Dolly Sods, we had such a hard time getting a fire started. And even though we eventually did, the advantages that this wood-burning stove has is that it uses only small twigs, so it's really easy to find, drier pieces to get a little fire started and at least cook a meal. So I'm gonna use it here for the first time and see how it goes. So once it actually starts, you really only need to feed it small twigs to keep a decent flame going, which makes it pretty fuel efficient.
And then it was time for that tea. These plants would give it an herbal and mildly fruity flavor.
We've got sorrel leaves, sassafras, and pine needles. I don't know how well the sorrel leaves will taste, but tastes good.
Meanwhile, I had wandered off to explore the area.
Yo, bear. Yo, bear.
There's a path behind where I was filming the sunset just now, and I started following it, and it's still going. And I'm not sure if it's just somebody else's campsite or what. I don't even know if I'm in shouting distance from Bryan and Andrew now. But I gotta keep going because I've come this far. So hopefully it ends soon.
You bet.
I really feel like there's just some amazing overlook just over the hill here. It's a really thick brush here, but I'm gonna keep going.
Doesn't look like it's gonna get it. Oh, maybe this is it. Yo, bear.
Well, I've come a long way. I can see the campsite way over there. I'm not sure this is what I had hoped it would be, but I still am a little bit higher. This is really beautiful. Wow, the rain may suck, but man, does it create some beautiful sunsets. It's moments like these that you realize that we're meant to live a life of balance. In the wilderness, this balance is temporarily revived. All of the struggle and discomfort, thirst and hunger are soon balanced out by the pleasure of immense beauty, relaxation, and satisfaction.
In this sense, a journey into the wilderness is, on an individual level, a radical act. It is a denial of all the unbalanced suffering and hardship that seem inherent in our society. It is a silent but visceral search for an alternative to the norm. An alternative in which community, beauty, and authenticity thrive.
Each journey into the wilderness leaves us wondering how we can realize this alternative in our daily lives for ourselves and for others.
But even if you aren't able to create that alternative anywhere outside of the wilderness, at least for now, you're with good friends and good food, sitting beneath a setting sun and a rising moon.
I'm making Zongzi. It's basically a Chinese version of a tamale. I've got this glutinous rice here with these xianggu, also known as shiitake mushrooms, and peanuts. Yeah, so traditionally the way you make it is you soak all the stuff, like the rice, and all the ingredients are kind of raw at first, and then you steam them. And actually there's a holiday, the Dragon Boat Festival. It happened a couple weeks ago, I think. But the story is that there was a man who was loved so much that they rowed out on these boats and they made these rice dumplings and threw them in the water so that the fish wouldn't eat the guy's body.
I forgot the key point. The man, a poet named Chu Yan, threw himself into the river after he found out an opposing general had captured his beloved country's capital.
I completely forget how to wrap the second one, but do you guys know how to wrap this at all?
You're on your own, friend.
Yeah, and it actually has a pretty unique shape, but clearly that's not coming through here. But the one on the right's yours.
It smells like Zongzi.
That is a nostalgic smell. Our grandmother used to make this.
It's not quite as flavorful as some.
This goes to show that, man, you can cook whatever you want.
Oh yeah,
out in the wild.
You don't need to be limited by any $7 prepackaged meal. Very good. Where should we put it?
Just put that chicken in there and let's eat it out of there.
The rest of the peaceful night was spent by the fire, amidst the mysterious sounds of whippoorwills.
The more time you spend outdoors, the more you see that night and day are just the crest and trough of a continuous wave. The long stretches of dawn and dusk are neither day nor night. In the same way, spending time with people helps us realize that the differences we notice are minute compared to our common humanity. I awoke to a majestic vulture soaring through the sky in the soft morning light, and took a moment to give an all too infrequent word of thanks for being alive.
I'm the only one up right now. I think I can hear Andrew stirring. I think it's worth mentioning again, is that when you spend any significant amount of time outside, you gain a whole new appreciation of the sun and just how great it is when it comes out every morning and it's so warm and you're so freezing.
We just got a hot tip from another hiker that this path that I came on yesterday actually does have something at the end. The 10 minutes that I walked on it just wasn't long enough, but apparently the best view in the park is this way. So we're scrambling over there to go see it before the sun gets too high. This is as far as I got last time. We're gonna keep going. Hopefully this pans out. By the time I got this far, I was just like, God, when does this end? This is probably just a trail.
The trail at first didn't seem to lead to anything. Just another campground, without much of a view of anything.
There's a trail. So we're gonna go try to see if we can get towards the sunrise. Okay, well, we went through some really thick brambles and now we're at the edge of a cliff. I don't think this is what he was talking about, but it's directly in front of the sunset. Rise. Sunrise. It's great, man.
We started to see some signs that we were closer.
This could be a fool's errand, but we're gonna keep going. The guy at this campsite, the third campsite we've made it to, said that we are indeed on the right track. And he was like, oh, you guys came out here and you weren't even sure if this was the right way? And we were like, yeah.
He reaffirmed it was the best view in the park.
Not much later, we started to see what sort of view was in store for us.
We have no clue where we're going, but the view is incredible this way, and there's a big rock over there. So we're assuming that this is it. Here we go. This is our view right now. Good morning, Red River Gorges. It's crazy, dude.
We had found Hanson's Point. We had no idea what wandering through thickets of pine trees would lead us to. But sometimes, uncertainty itself is the surest sign of incredible things to come.
We found our way back to the campsite, where the leaves were glowing in the morning sunlight.
Before long, it was time to move out.
After hiking some of the roughest trails we'd ever experienced, we came to a junction, and Andrew spotted some mushrooms popping out of the ground.
I found this chestnut bolete, which is a deliciously edible mushroom. You can tell it's chestnut bolete because it's got this sort of light brown to tan color on the top. And it's got these white insides, and when you break it, there's no staining at all. Unfortunately, there's way too many bugs in here to be eaten, and it's kind of got a rotten smell. Another mushroom you wouldn't want to eat is this guy here, which is an amanita. Lots of amanitas are poisonous, some of them deadly poisonous. You can tell it is one because it's got this colorful cap with these spots on it from the egg bulb that it came from, and it's got this big bulb at the bottom of the stem, as well as a skirt.
The trail wound down a steep hill to the creek, and on the forest floor, we saw some blooming striped wintergreen and this Amanita bisporigera, the destroying angel.
You really, really, really do not want to eat this. It's pure white, it's got a little skirt on the stem, and it's got a nice bulb on the bottom, and that's some of the characteristics of Amanita. And the pure white color tells you that it's one of the most dangerous mushrooms. It'll kill you. I heard a story actually where somebody ate one of these and got sick for a few days, really sick. Luckily he got to the hospital, they made him chug a smoothie made of like charcoal to clear his insides out. And he ended up surviving, but that is not a mistake you want to make because it's very, very likely that that mushroom will kill you.
The trail continued on, flanked on either side by sandstone boulders covered in swirls that jutted out in a bizarre relief. Then, the trail climbed up, leading to the famous Gray's Arch, an incredible and popular sight to behold, a truly wondrous creation of nature.
We went the wrong way. We got all the way to the top, and then found out that Gray's Arch was the other direction. Here we go.
The worst part is we'll still have to go back up.
We could see the arch from afar, past the trees. But of course, we had to see it up close and in person.
Towering 50 feet into the air and stretching 80 feet across, we were dwarfed by this wonder of nature.
It was a steep hike back up the stairs, but then the trail leveled out.
We ran into a few nice people, who you'll get to see during the credits, and chatted about the park and the surrounding areas.
Our legs were tired, but the rest of the hike was pretty relaxing.
Oh, you're fine. Oh, you're fine.
We rested a little bit before taking the final hike out of the park. Before long, we were back at the junction that Robby and I had passed by the first day.
We went that way last time.
Yeah.
And now we're going
This way.
this way. Okay, let's go.
The climbers who frequent Red River Gorge are likely familiar with the feeling of immense reward following a struggle. And even though we were there to hike rather than climb, The steep uphills and incredible views also reminded us just how good it feels to live a life in balance.
When you're climbing up steep hills or sloshing through mud in a thunderstorm, you might not think being in the wilderness is worth it, but you can spend all of your civilized life in the shelter of a home with climate control, and you'll feel a lot less happy than when you're out in the wild.
It always struck me as odd that so many people live with so much comfort that they forget what true, sublime joy is, while others live lives more akin to an uphill hike, but without the rewarding view at the end. For us, backpacking in the wild isn't just some hobby or vacation we take to hang out with each other. It's an act that reminds us what life is supposed to be like for everyone, every day. And while we're lucky enough to go on these adventures pretty frequently, we always leave with a deep desire to share the experience with everyone else.
My name's Mike. This is Adventure Archives. I am on the Gray Arch Trail, realizing that I am way too out of shape to do this, but it's a whole lot of fun and it's worth it. Check these guys out, they're doing great.
How many pizzas are you guys gonna eat?
I'm getting myself a whole pizza. What'd you get?
Anchovies and pineapple, the two most unpopular toppings in the world. That way nobody else eats it.
I got the two most popular toppings in the world, pepperoni and sausage.
What'd you get? Sausage and mushrooms?
Mushrooms. Are you gonna drink that?
Yeah, I want to wait for the pizza.
I want to smell it. Are you gonna drink that?
It's good. It's good. It's like kind of mild.